I can't tell if your thriller setting works in one single test. Can your protagonist live right now if they want to? If the answer is yes, you don't have a trap, you have a location. The Overlook doesn't trap people with ghosts. It traps them by making them help lock the door. Let's cut it open. You think your setting is scary because it is in the woods or it is underground. Well, it isn't. If readers can put your book down and go make a cup of tea without thinking about that place, your setting has failed. Now, compare that to The Shining. 40 years later, people still feel a cold knot in their stomach when they hear two words: The Overlook. Today, we are not reviewing a movie. We are conducting an autopsy. We are going to cut The Shining open on the table and find out why the hotel gets to live in our heads, while most fictional houses die on the page. I am Manuel Sabater Romero, and this is Mind Twist Academy. Stephen King gave us the anatomy in the book. Stanley Kubrick showed us the muscles on screen. Together, they built the most famous predator in horror history. And here's the psychological thriller truth: The Overlook doesn't win because it is spooky. It wins because it convinces a human being to become part of the mechanism. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why your setting isn't scary yet and how to fix it using the Overlook method. Every beginner horror writer knows one rule: put them somewhere far away. So we get endless cabins, remote stations, isolated planets. You think distance equals danger. But The Shining proves that distance isn't enough. The Overlook Hotel is physically remote. Of course it is. But what makes it terrifying is that the hotel doesn't just sit there in the snow. It actively cuts the lines. Watch how the story systematically breaks the protagonist. First, geography. Those mountains. The long drive up tells you one thing: if anything goes wrong, rescue is hours away. The second is the weather, the snowstorm that physically seals the doors. But King and Kubrick go further than that. And this is where your manuscript is likely failing. In The Shining, isolation isn't an accident, it becomes a collaboration. The lifelines fail, and instead of fighting to restore them, Jack stops treating the outside world like an option. He starts acting like the hotel is the only reality that matters. The setting doesn't just trap him, it persuades him to accept the trap. And that, my friend, is the psychological thriller engine right there. In a psychological thriller, the trap isn't the storm. It is the moment the protagonist agrees with the storm. That is the isolation protocol. Don't just trap your characters. Make the setting persuade your protagonist to lock the door themselves. If your character is stuck simply because the phone died, that is lazy writing. Make them cut the wire, or worse, make them feel relieved when the wire is cut. This is the most brilliant mechanic in the entire story. Usually, a haunted house tries to scare you away. It screams, "Get out!" The Shining flips this. The Overlook Hotel doesn't want Jack to leave, it wants him to stay forever. So instead of acting like a monster, the hotel acts like a host. Look at the gold room scene. Jack is broke, frustrated, and thirsty. He says he'll sell his soul for a drink. And the hotel answers. Lloyd appears. The bar is stocked. The lights go warm and golden, like the building has decided to reward him for finally admitting what he wants. The Overlook gives Jack exactly what he craves: alcohol, yes, but more importantly, validation. Grady calls him Sir. The ghost tells him he is an important man, that he is management material. They feed his narcissism. They pet the bruise in his ego until it purrs. This is the generous host technique. The setting supplies the character's addiction. It doesn't chase him with a chainsaw, it pours him a drink. It tells him he is the victim. It weaponizes his ego against his family. And again, this is why it is psychological. The building doesn't attack the body first, it recruits the wound. Stop trying to make your setting spooky, make it tempting. What does your protagonist want most? Approval? Power? A second chance? Control? A quiet mind? Can the setting give it to them? Because the scariest places are not the ones that attack you. They are the ones that feel like they are finally on your side. Now let's look at the physical anatomy of the beast. In The Shining, the hotel isn't a random collection of rooms. It is a digestive tract. Every room serves a specific function in the hunt. I call this the three-room trap. Room 1, the lure. That is the lobby. It is grand, it is colorful, it is where the job interview happens. It feels like an opportunity. This is the mouth of the peaches plant. Room number 2, the bait, that was the golden room. This is the stomach, where the victim is fed and softened up, where the hotel smiles and says, "We understand you." And room 3, the teeth, that will be room 237. This is where the hotel stops flirting. Whether it is the rotting woman in the bathtub or the elevator blob, this is the assault point. Notice the progression: welcome them, seduce them, consume them. Most writers just build scary rooms. King built a machine, and the psychological thriller upgrade in this. Each room isn't just a location, it is a mental state shift. Hope, permission, violence. A believable descent. Audit your setting. Do you have a room that seduces? Do you have a room that lies? Do you have a room that punishes? If every room in your house is just dark and creepy, you have no contrast. You need the gold room to make room 237 work. So how do we apply the Overlook method to your book right now? I want you to run the 3-room trap exercise. Take your current setting, house, spaceship, asylum, and define 3 specific locations. 1. The isolation point. Where do they cut themselves off? 2. The temptation point. Where does the setting offer them what they want? And 3. The assault point. Where does the setting physically attack or force an irreversible psychological turn? Here's what this looks like in practice. If you are writing an asylum, isolation point, the locked nurses station, where access to the outside world is controlled. The temptation point, the records room, where the protagonist can finally read the file they are desperate to see. And the assault point, the shower block, where the building stops negotiating and takes something from them. If you are writing a family home thriller, the isolation point, the fuse box in a cellar, temptation point, the kitchen where the house keeps giving them what they crave. And the assault point, the spare room nobody is allowed to open. If your setting is just there, your story is dead. Wake the building up, give it a voice, make it hungry. And remember, in a psychological thriller, the final log is never a padlock. It is a decision. The Overlook didn't just want Jack to die. It wanted him to be part of the collection. Because remember, the Overlook couldn't have trapped Jack if he wasn't already broken. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode. Until then, my friends, take great care.